Welcome back to Electrified Reviews. This is the Element Platinum by Pedego, an e-bike designed for riders who crave versatility, power, and innovative technology. The integration of a peppy motor, an advanced battery system, and impeccable design components make this e-bike an outstanding choice for those desiring a seamless blend of style and efficiency. Let's dive into the specs and see if it's worth the $2,995 price tag. Now let's start off with some key features. The motor is a 749 watt, 48 volt brushless geared rear hub motor with a torque of 60 Newton meters. Battery options, you can either get a 48 volt 10 amp hour or a 48 volt 14 amp hour. Both those come with Samsung cells. For top speed, the bike ships Class 2 mode, limiting it to 20 miles per hour, but you can unlock it to Class 3 mode, which is 28 miles per hour. And you know me, I like speed, so let's go fast. The derailleur is a SRAM GX 10-speed rear derailleur. I'm personally a big fan of SRAM, so super cool to see it included on the bike here. The display is a 3.5-inch backlit LCD with a custom Pedego PedalSense software. We'll dive into that a little bit later in the review. For brakes, we've got dual piston Tektro hydraulic disc brakes with 180mm rotors on the front and rear. So first impressions. With its striking appearance and hefty frame, the Element Platinum doesn't just tease performance, it delivers on it. The 20-inch fat tires hint at the bike's off-road capabilities, catering to both urban commuting and rugged terrains if required. This is an e-bike that is probably going to be ridden more on trails than off of them, but the tires can definitely handle some tumultuous terrain. And that should get me bonus points for diction and alliteration. Let's talk about performance and handling. The 749 watt motor is a powerhouse, providing a swift acceleration and a top-notch torque of 60 Newton meters. Now, you're all wondering why it's 749 watts instead of the usually listed 750 watts, and it's sort of semantics. There's not any real difference between their motor's rating and the other ones out there. It comes down to an interpretation of the e-bike guidelines, stating that an e-bike has to have less than 750 watts to be considered a bike and not a Class 4 EV. So if you're comparing this between another bike, it's not like it's 1 watt worse. It's, simply a very small limitation, but, the motor peaks much higher. So, it's one of those things. As far as battery life goes, we've got two battery options, 10.4 amp hours, 14 amp hours. Now, these aren't incredible when compared to some of the 15 to 20 amp hour batteries we come across, but either option is enough to get you 30 or 45 miles respectively. The use of premium Samsung cells indicate a focus on reliability and longevity, which is good because they offer an industry-leading 5-year warranty on pretty much everything on the bike. For the drivetrain, we've got the SRAM GX 10-speed rear derailleur, and it is flippin' sweet. I'm a bit of a SRAM fan, so it was really cool to see them on a few of the recent bikes that we've reviewed. Pedego nailed the gearing here, and there's no ghost pedaling whatsoever, which is another common mistake we see manufacturers make on these more compact frame types. For the display, we've got Pedego's custom LCD. It's user-friendly, displaying key metrics like battery life, speed, distance, all the good stuff you'd want to know. The integration of the PedalSense software personalizes the riding experience, adapting to your pedaling patterns. More alliteration, more points for me. This bike has an advanced pedal assist system, meaning it utilizes speed, cadence, and torque sensors to give you a really engaged ride feel. You can also swap those modes out to go pure cadence or pure torque, and this is just more of a personal preference, although torque will probably get you 10 to 15% more range when you compare it with cadence. Now let's talk about comfort and ergonomics. For the frame in the cockpit, we've got an aluminum alloy frame paired with a riser handlebar, which ensures the Element Platinum is robust and off-road ready. Its design integrates the battery seamlessly, elevating the whole platform from a looks perspective. The MTB style saddle coupled with a coil spring seat post is comfortable even on longer rides. Now when I test rode the bike in the woodlands, I used a Connect seat post suspension with a larger saddle, and while the included coil spring seat post is better than nothing, it definitely is worth the upgrade for a higher grade seat post suspension. Speaking of suspension, up in the front we have got a suspension fork that has 80mm of travel, and it's great for absorbing sticks and bumps and things like that. It also has preload and lockout adjustments, meaning you can dial in your ride to suit the terrain. 80mm of travel is not going to be ideal for taking on single track or anything like that, but for general off-road use, it worked really well for smoothing out the great outdoors. Some additional features that are worth mentioning a little bit more are the PedalSense. So this offers the customized riding experience from torque or cadence-based pedal assist to throttle-only modes. For the lights, we've got the Sport LED headlight, and it is 200 lumens, ensuring safety during nighttime adventures. Brake sensing rear lights and turn signals add additional value in the lights department. Full fenders, got a full set of fenders here. So the Element comes stock with full fenders, a necessity for off-roading if you don't want to wind up looking like you just got splashed with mud, which you probably don't. and the rear rack. So the beefy rear rack here can tote around 55 pounds, and this just unlocks the platform for further customization. Now, before we get into what I think could be improved on the bike, let's talk about some of the extras. So we had a few extras installed in this one, and I just wanted to clarify what some of those extra things are. The first one is the trunk bag. So the trunk bag here is a really solid bag option. I'm definitely going to be keeping this for myself because it's got tons of space, versatility with dropping pannier side bags to carry quite a bit of stuff, and I'm not kidding, I'm keeping it. Mirrors. So the bar end mirrors were installed at the Pedego Woodlands, and they are a recommendation for anyone who doesn't want to keep looking behind them. A little bit weird at first when you have mirrors on there if you're not used to it, but once you get used to it, they are an excellent safety thing to have on pretty much any bike. The other extra is the lock. So the folding lock mounts nicely to the down tube, and while it doesn't come stock with the bike, it's worth the $120 investment to unlock the 5-year lock warranty that Pedego offers to people who use the lock. If something happens while the bike's locked up, you're covered tire to tire. Now let's talk about what could be improved here. So the first thing, and this is usually the main improvement that we recommend, is the weight. So the Element Platinum leans on the heavier side at 63.8 pounds, especially with the mag wheels, which add an additional 7 pounds to the platform. While this adds to the bike's stability, some users might find it cumbersome if they have to drag it down a flight of stairs every day, and as somebody who doesn't have to worry about that, not usually something I consider when I'm looking at an e-bike, but I know there's lots of people out there who have a different living situation, so something to consider here. The last thing that could be improved are the accessories. So features like the fenders, which enhance utility, are available only as an aftermarket purchase. For something that has knobby tires and you kind of expect somebody to take it off-road, I feel like they should add the fenders as a stock option. So what's my final verdict here? Pedego's Element Platinum is more than just an e-bike, it's an experience. In fact, the whole Pedego experience is just different from any brand or e-bike shop that I've worked with a huge emphasis on customer service throughout the whole organization. It's the perfect place to get educated on e-bikes, and if you're in the Woodlands, enjoy a fresh cup of custom roasted coffee. Now, this doesn't say anything about the bikes themselves, but free coffee is always a win. With its blend of power, adaptability, and style, the Element Platinum sets a new standard in the e-bike realm. Whether you're a seasoned e-bike or a novice, it promises a ride that's smooth, exhilarating, and uniquely tailored to you. Alright guys, we were out here for the ride test on the Element, the Platinum Edition. And as you guys noticed, if you guys have looked this up online, we do have some extra stuff, and I probably covered that in the review already, but just to make sure we're touching all our bases here. There are a couple extra things here. So these mirrors, they come with Richard at the Pedego store in the Woodlands hooked me up with these ones instead of the traditional one that kind of mounts up here and sticks out. He likes these. This is what he has on his personal bike, so I said, hey, let me try those. And so far I like them. If you did watch our Pedego walkthrough, you know that when I got this thing, I had a thumb throttle conversion here. It was a little too wide, I think, for me. So I took that off. We went back with a twist throttle instead of our thumb throttles. You guys know I'm a big fan of the thumb throttles, but that one just was a little too big, and it wasn't like as an actual thumb throttle. It was just an attachment here. So I took that off. Something you can do, if you like. If you guys had smaller hands than me, that probably wouldn't have been as big of a deal, and actually might be pretty sweet. But for me, it's just a little bit, just a little bit too big. So that one's off there. We got the phone holder on here. We've got this nice rear bag. Honestly, it's pretty sweet. It's got some pannier bags that comes down. You can open it up kind of like a suitcase, get more of an expansion here. Got a spot for a nice big water bottle in the back here. And we've got the Pedego lock on here as well. Super cool lock. This is one thing that they do for their 5-year, full coverage. I guess I forget what they call it, the lock warranty, lock guarantee, whatever. If you have your bike locked up, they got you completely covered. So a pretty cool investment. You're spending the extra however much money to get the lock, and you have that built-in extra warranty there, which is pretty cool. Now, as far as that goes, I think that's pretty much the stuff that has been upgraded. Now, when I test rode it in the Woodlands, I had one of the Connect seat posts in here. This is the traditional suspension seat post that it comes with. Not too bad. I don't mind it too much. The Connect one obviously is a little bit more expensive, and it's a little bit nicer, as things tend to be. But other than that, those are some of the extra features that are on here. So this is the ride test. Let's do some riding. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on here. Now, it's funny, the first couple times I was riding with it, I'm still looking over, my back because I'm just not used to having them there. But it is nice to be able to just look down
And you really do kind of see pretty much everything. So I can see, you know, from here, if I'm looking at the mirror, I can see from, you know, obviously right about here this way to somewhere right about here, and the mirror pretty much picks up everything else. So if you're kind of looking over here, you got your eyes cocked over to the side, you really can see pretty much everything. So I'm a big fan of those. Let's go ahead and turn the bike on. Boom, okay. So right now it is in pedal assist level 0. Let's go ahead and ride this like a traditional bike. And I forgot to downshift, so it's a little hard here, but use our SRAM shifter over here. Shift through our gears. All right, now, as a traditional bike, it's really not too bad to pedal. It's something we're in second, third, fourth, fifth. Nice shifting, right from the setup. 7, 8, 9. There you go. So yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, 9 on no pedal assist, that's not super fun, but we have pedal assist. Let's go ahead and turn on pedal assist level 1. I'll shift down here. Yeah, the SRAM shifter is nice. Everything feels really solid, nice springy action. Definitely an upgrade over some of the Shimanos that we're used to seeing. Gonna do a little brake test here. Yeah, these brakes work very well. Work very well. And again, having a seat post suspension and front suspension, that just makes pretty much every ride a little bit more enjoyable. But yeah, so pedal assist level 3. Now this is torque sensor, so as we're going, we can kind of back off a little bit. The motor backs off, but then if we want to push on it, we go faster, guys. Pedal assist level 4. Pedal assist level 5. Takes up to that top speed of 20 miles per hour. No ghost pedaling whatsoever. So that's nice. Looks like we got the gearing right here on this one. Handles really well. Feels nice at top speed. I'm a fan. Some other e-mobility people here. It's spreading, guys. Woohoo! Okay, and just use the throttle, should kick in when we get to below 20. There you go. Yeah, we're cruising around at 20 with the throttle. So this is a traditional class 3 bike, 20 miles per hour top speed with pedal assist, and then 20 miles per hour on the throttle. Now this bike is kind of touted as the, I don't know, the younger, illegitimate stepbrother of their mountain bikes. They're saying this is kind of like an off-road adventure bike. Let's go ahead and put that to the test. Handling the loamy bit's pretty nice. Okay, all right. Handling itself pretty good through our wooded area. Again, excellent shifting. Going through the woods with the torque sensor is so nice because it gives you all that power you need right when you need it, right when you ask for it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's definitely very bumpy and there's not a whole lot of travel in the front, but it's handling itself well in the dirt. Having the seat post suspension is nice. Now, having the handlebars or having the mirrors at the end of the handlebars does bring out my total width when I'm going through here, and normally there's a couple spots that get a little hairy without those, so if we end up knocking one, that wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, if you're at a little national park or on some lake trail or something like that, this is definitely nice. All right, so what we're gonna do is hit this really, that was one of those trees I'm talking about. So we got This hill come up here, I got a pedal assist level 5. Let's go ahead and see if we can make it up this hill. I'm trying to sit down the whole way. Woo. Very ruddy. But hill climbing wise, feels really nice actually, getting into some of those steeper areas. Now we'll take it to our usual hill climb test over here. And I got the feeling she's gonna do pretty good on it. Do a little braking test here. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. All right. So we'll go ahead and I'm pretty positive to stop us on this downhill here. Oh yeah. Too easy. Go ahead and downshift here. And let's take it up this hill, see how she does. I'm pretty curious to see what we do with kind of a cold start here. So, and pretty much no speed and, oh wow. That is impressive. I was not putting very much effort into that at all. So if we got any speed whatsoever, I think we would just dominate that hill. Go ahead and try that. Guys, this thing skids like a dream. Get a little bit of speed here. We'll hit it. Oh my goodness. That's incredible actually. So hill climbing, definitely doable on the Platinum Element here. That was sweet. We'll go ahead and do a throttle only. We'll do another little trail section just to get the off-roadness out of here. I mean, you're slowing down a little bit at the top, but when you're pedaling, you got the torque sensing pedal assist, that works out really well. I mean, it made it. It didn't stop. We've moved on a couple recently that just stopped. All right, let's see what we can do. See if we can get a little air. A couple spots we can get some air, I'm thinking. Again, shifting is super smooth here. Usually it's kind of like, you know, usually the comments like, oh, we can tune it up. This stuff feels nice. Oh yeah. All right, got another little hill climb area right here. Nice and easy. Now, one thing I've noticed from riding around, especially in some of these like tight, twisty areas, is the pedal assist has a little bit more of a slower power curve when you start getting into it, but it cuts off almost immediately when you stop pedaling, which is nice because sometimes that's, you know, if you're new to e-bikes and you're on it for the first time, you go to stop and you stop pedaling, you expect it to stop, and you know, some of these e-bikes have an extra half second to 2 seconds on there. It can be a little bit like, whoa, what was that? So this one doesn't have that, which is nice. Like I said, it does take a little bit longer. Yeah, it does take a little bit longer for it to kick on, or it just ramps up a little bit slower, which depending on what you're doing, it's totally fine. This is a bit of an extreme scenario. Man, does she handle herself nice. I'm hitting all the high trails. Normally I'll kind of keep it to the lower side of things, but that one's handling this nice. All right, let's see, here's gonna be a good spot. Normally I go right, but let's go left. Yep, sweet. Guys, that was a lot of fun. So as far as the claims of this being their, not here, this is the small spot. As far as the claims of this being their adventure bike, I would say I totally agree with that. That handled it really well. Everything's still in one piece. Nothing's rattling around a little bit. So we're good to go. Now, one thing I probably would change out if I was keeping this long term is the grips. Because the grips here, they don't have a locking mechanism on them, which we like to see. Oh, so nice. Now, because I've been on that particular stretch on so many different e-bikes, I know what most of them feel like, and this really is outperforming a lot of those bikes, especially the ones that have this this form factor. I don't know if we've ever had such a good, definitely not such a good skidder. Skidding here is super fun. I would do a whole just super cuts of me skidding around everywhere. Woo-hoo-hoo. I also have never felt so comfortable like leaning into some of these loamy curves either. I think it's handling itself really, really well. So I know most people's, main online opinion of Pedego is they're a little bit pricey for what you get. And in some respects, that is true. If you compare this bike, spec for spec with some other ones, there are some comparable bikes that are cheaper. But, there's a big but here, you're not gonna get the same warranty that you get from Pedego, right? You're not gonna put a lock on one of these other bikes and then it's gonna, protect you for 5 years. That's pretty cool and crazy that they do that. But it's a little bumpy. But not bad with that suspension, I'll tell you what. There we go. We're in it to win it, guys. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I could see you pretty much taking this anywhere. A nice little form factor. So people who are short on space, want to throw it like in an SUV or want to get a more compact bike rack. You gotta make sure it handles the weight, of course, which is one of the main things you need to look for when you're getting a rack for an e-bike. But this is very capable. When we did that whole ride, we used about 10% of battery. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet indeed. Oh yeah. Honestly, guys, I'm pretty surprised with the capabilities here. Now, when I went up to the Pedego store in the Woodlands, I rode around with Richard for a while, and we probably rode for about an hour or so. GoPro cut off, I don't know, about a third of the way through. And so, didn't really get to test it that much. But now we're getting to do some real testing with it, and it's pretty sweet. Do a little no-handedness here. Oh, that's comfortable too. Now, usually with those fat tires, as long as they've got the geometry right, they're usually a little bit easier to ride no-handed because you got that nice big platform that you're riding around on. But man, this is comfortable. Now, I noticed a little bit of a difference between the Connect seat-post suspension that I used when I was in the Woodlands versus the one that comes stock on here. Slight difference. And one of the main reasons that is, I think, is the other seat-post suspension is in line with the pedals, whereas this one's more in line with the seat-post tube, right? It's just linear, so it's just going straight up and down. Whereas this one has a little bit of a forward momentum to it. So that one, I think, had a little bit more movement and a little bit of a different type of movement. So I think I was a fan of that one. But honestly, the stock saddle and the stock seat-post suspension, not too shabby. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? I guess that's what I'm saying. But there's tons of seat-post suspension out there. Different options, different upgrades. But man, being able to go 28 miles per hour, have a really solid cadence here. I mean, there's no ghost pedaling. It feels very natural, which is what I like. Again, brakes do really good. Nice turn radius. Guys, do not have much to complain about here. So I think that's going to do it for our review on the Platinum Element from Pedego. If you guys want to know more about Pedego, I have a link down there below. If you want to know about Pedego Woodlands, I'll have a link to them specifically. If you guys got any questions for me, anything we need to cover in the review, let me know. Love talking to you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.